watching this video who has watched me for a while knows who my favourite Spider-Man is. It's Andrew Garfield. Saying that, there's countless moments from these movies that really define the character for me, and so in the run-up to No Way Home, with the constant rumours that we're going to be seeing Tobey, Andrew and Tom together on screen, I thought I'd take a look at the moments from each of the actors that defined the character for me. Now before we go further, this is my opinion. You're entitled to your own, just like you're entitled to think that there's another scene that did the message better. Just don't be a dick about disagreeing with it, and if you want to put forward the scene that you think did it better, feel free to do it in the comments or on my Twitter, which is going to be on screen right now. Let's all be civil about this. We all love Spider-Man, we're all here for the same reason, and it's to hear me talk about him for 5 minutes. Now, I've already talked about the bridge scene in a video that you can find on the channel above me right now. So with this one, I wanted to try and find a different scene that I think encapsulates Spider-Man perfectly for me within Andrew Garfield's movies. So because I've already covered the entire first movie on the channel, I decided to turn my attention to the much hated second film. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a movie that I love wholeheartedly, and while it might have its flaws, this scene is without a doubt not one of them. You might be thinking we're talking about the clock tower scene, and I hate to disappoint you, but that's not what we're doing here because I'm saving that for the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video. That, and no amount of therapy is going to help me talk about that scene online. I have decided that my defining Amazing Spider-Man moment is the final one. Because for me, this scene encapsulates everything about the character and everything about this movie itself. So let's set the scene. Following Gwen's death, Peter is shell-shocked and gives up on being Spider-Man. We see him in despair, we see him broken to a degree that we haven't seen properly yet, so what changes this?
That you will hold on to hope. Keep it alive. We have to be greater than what we suffer. My wish for you is to become hope.
Well, it's Gwen, the one person he's mourning, the person he knows he was responsible for that night. Trying to relive old memories of her, Peter decides to watch the graduation speech that she gave earlier in the film. It's this really well written monologue that really hits Peter hard. He feels as though she's speaking to him through the screen as if she knew this would happen. And that's only part of the scene that I want to talk about. The real meat of the moment comes here. We cut downtown. Rhino is there wreaking havoc in the streets. The crowd watch on helplessly as he causes chaos. This is where it happens. This is the moment that makes me unable to hate this movie. Most of the people who worked on this movie aren't happy with it. I get that. Trust me, I do, but I just cannot not love this movie because of this little kid. He appears earlier in the movie. He's being bullied by a bunch of older kids before Spider-Man hops in to save him, making the kid feel a whole lot better about himself before even walking him home.
This is a wind turbine. You made this? No way. This is amazing. As good as new, right? I'll walk you home. What's your name? Jorge?
Cut to now. Imagine how that kid must feel knowing someone like that who stepped up to help him when he needed it was no longer around to step up and help everyone else. In an albeit naive decision, the kid decides to take action. We see him in the crowd with his mother. We see him run away from his mother. He's watching this chaos before he decides to do what his hero would have done. He stands up for everyone else. The kid runs. He runs at Rhino and then he stops. He stands against a foe that could destroy him within seconds, and this kid knows that. Because he still does it anyway, because he does what Spider-Man would have done for him. Spider-Man would stand up to the bully here just like he did back in that alleyway. That's what makes this next moment that much more impactful. As Rhino falters, this kid turns around to see what may have caused that, only to see Spider-Man kneeling beside him, almost called to action by this kid's bravery.
I knew you'd come back.
Yeah, thanks for stepping up for me. You're the bravest kid I've ever seen.
The way Spider-Man kneels before him, thanking this kid, making him feel like that he is the difference. This is everything that I want from Spider-Man. This is Peter Parker. This is Spider-Man.
You're fighting now! On behalf of the fine people of New York City and real rhinos everywhere, I ask you to put your mechanized paws in the air.
This is the hero that I fell in love with. It's a character development moment to see him remember a face when that's the very thing that caused the downfall of Electro. This is two different circumstances entirely, but he's learned from the mistake that he made before. This is a new corner, a new chance for him to be different and to be the hero that he can be. That's what a lot of this film is. He is not the perfect Peter Parker. He is not the perfect Spider-Man. But that doesn't stop him trying to be. This ending may have potentially signalled the end for Andrew Garfield's run as the web slinger, but this is what will always cement him as my favourite. This, as well as countless examples that make this Spider-Man the one that I have fallen in love with above all others. If he's in No Way Home and I get a continuation of a character that I love, then I will be so happy. But if this scene is the last time I ever see him, I'm happy it ends open-ended. I'm happy that I get to imagine the outcome of this battle, and I'm more than happy to imagine the adventures that this guy would have embarked on into becoming the perfect Peter Parker, the perfect Spider-Man, and the perfect hero. Thank you so much for watching the second part of my 3-part mini-series on this channel where I'm looking at my favourite scenes from each of the Spider-Man actors. If you've enjoyed, feel free to like this video and share it with your friends. It would mean the world to me, and also show me that you want more of this short form opinionated content. Also, if you want to go ahead to the playlist and catch the other 2 parts of this, you can. There's going to be a card above me, there's also going to be a link in the description. I've been Jordan, I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and I will see you all in the next one.